So we are here with Duncan Macintyre, the Lewis Camanachd manager. Duncan, just tell me, what is the biggest challenges that you face as an island-based team competing against mainland teams?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges are probably the most obvious one, the travel. Regardless of where we were going on the mainland, it involves a 2.5 hour journey in the ferry at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then sometimes, today for example, it's a fairly short journey, an hour and a half, but then we've got longer journeys down to Lycaspean Bridge and that, so that is a bit of a problem. Fatigue in the players is definitely an issue, but we've so far managed to combat that, so yeah.
And there's a long gap in the history of Shinty and Lewis. How have you worked to compete with football for participation?
Yeah, one of the things, I think the way I look at it is that it's sort of maybe not to compete with football as such, and stand on our own 2 feet as a unique sport. So that's the way I tend to look at it. We don't want to be in competition with the football or anything like that. We want to stand on our own and make sure that anyone who sees the team playing, is involved in Shinty, sees the benefits you can get from playing Shinty. I think that's what we want to do, just promote Shinty rather than maybe focus on the other sports.
And you finished second in the last 2 seasons. Do you think 2025 is the year that you'll secure promotion into the Mowi North Division 1?
Well, I'd love it to be, absolutely. But there's an awful lot of hard work needs to be done before we even think about that. And yes, we've had 2 really good seasons, and we just want to build on these seasons and see what comes at the end of it. That's what we're going to do, give it our best shot. So
it's your 13th season in the Mowi Leagues. How have you seen the standard of Shinty at the club progress throughout your journey?
Yeah, I think the club, the standard of play has come on leaps and bounds. I think something I said maybe 2 seasons ago, that we are now a proper Shinty team, and we get respect wherever we go to play, and teams know that they're up against a proper Shinty team now. The standard has increased greatly, yeah, been a big improvement.
And you've got a lot of players living on the mainland. Do you think that makes it easier for fulfilling these long journeys?
Well, actually, we've actually had a turnaround. A majority of our players are now island based. So, for example, today we only have 2 players playing today that are mainland based. So that is a big turnaround for us. So it's actually been a benefit having more island based players because we can train together. In the past we've had maybe the island based players training together and then depending on mainland players doing their own fitness. So yeah, that's less of a problem now. But we're very grateful for the mainland players we have had in the past and now indeed. But yeah, we're in a better position that we've got island based players predominantly now.
Paul, just tell me what attracted you to play Shinty.
Been playing Shinty all my life. Grew up in Newtonmore, so it was the only sport really being played, and the only one anybody really cared about was playing for their local team. So that's what got me going.
So just talk me through an average away trip for yourself.
The away trips are pretty tough, especially at the beginning of the season. You're leaving the house at 5:30, pitch black, getting to the ferry, onto a busy ferry usually, sit with all the lads, have breakfast and stuff, talk through a couple of things on the boat, get to know everybody and start the season off. But they're long trips. Reach the destination and try and stretch off the legs, and hopefully we get as much time as we can. Sometimes the trips are a wee bit shorter and sometimes they're a wee bit longer, and it's quite tough going on the legs sometimes, having been sat in the ferry for 3 hours and then a bus 3 hours.
That's great. And what impact do you think these travel demands have on your player availability and your squad consistency and fitness?
I think in Lewis we've got a really strong core in the team. The boys know the demands. We know the travel every week. We know that we're away from home at the beginning of the season most weeks. It's a huge commitment. First couple of months we're away almost every week. With weather that can be tough as well, but you know that you're away from first thing in the morning to 9-10 o'clock at night, so it's just part of the course really, but we love what we do and we're keen to come away.